All right, we are back with more Please Be Happy. In the last one, we helped some kids with their project. We met Aspen at the Bell House, and it was real cute as always. And we had a very good drink, and it was just a good time in general. Not too much happened, mostly because I had to cut it a little shorter than usual. And these tend to go for around like 25 to 30-ish minutes, but I had to cut that one short at 22. But that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get back in to Please Be Happy. That night, as I'm laying in bed watching TV, my phone buzzes in the windowsill, startling me. It's Aspen.
Hello? Miho, I didn't wake you, did I?
Oh my gosh, her pajamas are so cute. Aspen's, I mean, because we've seen Mio's a lot, and Mio's are cute too. We've never seen anyone else in like their PJs before. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Nah, I was still up. But I thought you went to bed hours ago. Is everything okay? I did, yes, and I'm fine. I woke up to get some water and saw that I had an email. And after I read it, I couldn't wait to tell you.
Oh my gosh, is it a publisher being like, hey, we loved your book. Let's get this baby published sort of thing?
Are you ready?
Mm-mm.
Sure.
She clears her throat and gulps down some water before she starts.
Miss Benoit, we've read your draft and we're very impressed with what we've seen so far.
Oh.
At the moment, it's a couple steps away from being what we're looking for, but we'd like to fix that.
Oh, let's go, Aspen, let's go. Not my eyes just freaking out on me, it's fine. Oh, that's exciting.
One of our representatives will be in the Wellington area this Friday. Would you be available for dinner to discuss more? Best regards, Avery Frost, editor.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, because I was really hoping that this wouldn't go down like a writer, like she has to like give up on her dreams of being a writer. That'd be so sad. And I just don't want that for her. So I'm like, oh, please let this work out. And it did. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, it's so good. I bolt upright in bed as if Aspen were here telling me in person.
So they're gonna do it? They're gonna publish your book? Well, it sounds like there are still some details to be worked out, but congratulations!
It's a good thing Juliet doesn't sleep during the night. I can hear her laugh through the phone and I can't keep a grin off my own face.
Thank you. Thank you. Wait a moment, I'm not dreaming, am I? Nope. Good. Lately I keep thinking that my life has been going far too well. Surely I'll have to wake up soon and find that none of it was real. No way. Although, it sounds like maybe you should go back to bed. Probably. I'm not sure I'll be able to fall asleep again, though.
That's so fair, that's so fair. Also, it's not really picking up too well on my face cam right now, but I just have the biggest smile on my face. This is like the time I'm like, gosh darn it, why is my stuff not picking up my smiles anymore? I hate it. I hate whatever this new update did to VTube Studio. It's just janking me all over. And I've only heard me having this issue, so I don't actually know what it is. But suddenly one day I was having an issue, and I looked it up, and an update came out that day, and it's like, this was working perfectly fine literally the day before. Like, what's happening?
Wanna come over? Juliet's awake too.
She laughs again.
Tempting, but I shouldn't. Tomorrow, though, after I get off work. We're gonna celebrate? Damn right we are.
Oh.
Let's go somewhere, just the two of us.
Oh, yes. Also, I was so surprised to hear a swear out of this game, but out of Aspen? Oh my gosh.
Sure. Like where? Dunno. Figure it out when we get there. Of course. See you at breakfast then?
Aspen yawns, causing me to yawn too.
All right, I get the message. Good night, Kilo. I love you.
Oh.
I love you too. Good night.
Setting. This is so weird. Just everything they do together is just like, oh, the cutest thing ever. I love it. It's so fun. I like, especially like comparing this to, like the other visual novel I read, Fate. It's like constantly just such a downer. Like there are like definitely like high points, but it's such a downer. It's so dark most of the time. So just be like this, where I'm just like, oh, this is it's just so cute. It's so cute. Like yeah, it has its sad moments too, but like it balances it out with the levity really well to keep me like happy while I'm reading it. Settling back down into bed, I can't keep a smile off my face, even as my eyes get heavier. If anyone deserves some good news, it's Aspen. I'm so glad she can stop worrying so much now. Okay. Let's go to Tai Pike Park. I don't remember what it's actually how to pronounce it. Just another lazy day at the park. Maybe I'll take a walk and look out. Hmm? Some kind of instinct veers me over to the side. Right as I do, something yellow whizzes past me and smacks hard against the ground. What's going on? Am I under attack? I whip my head I whip my head towards the source of the projectile and see a handful of people with rackets running towards me. Was that missile part of their game? Flustered woman. I'm so sorry. That didn't hit you, did it? Flustered man. No, I'm the one who's sorry. It was my bad serve that made her hit it like that. I have no idea what you're talking about, but your yellow thing went that way. You really dodged it like a pro, I gotta say. Yeah, your reflexes are amazing. You should join our club. I still have no idea what you're talking about. Enjoy your yellow thing. Bye now. Disappointed man and woman. Aww. I love these. Like they're very simple. Just like here's like a minute or two of just something doofy happening. I love it. The grand entrance of the Botanic Garden is pretty impressive, decorated with flowers and trees and more. It's even closer to the wilds I remember than Mount Victoria's forest are.
Of course, last time I was rather distracted by the circumstances.
Yeah, it was a little heavy last time we were here. Also, not me just trying to get my mouse away using my leg to guide it. There we go.
Is that why you want to come back? Yes, this time. I intend to enjoy it to its fullest.
After meeting up with Aspen at the Bell House, we took a bus to get here. It dropped us off at the same gate that Juliet and I arrived at last time. Hand in hand like always. Oh, we drifted like bumblebees from flower patch to flower patch. Aspen stops to admire the plants, and I admire Aspen. Oh, getting that email really seems to have cheered her up. There's a bounce in every step we take together.
What kind of flowers are those? I have no idea. They're pretty though, aren't they?
Hey, yo, that's me. Anytime I'm at a garden of any kind, it's like, wow, I sure have no idea what any of these are, but they're pretty.
They sure are.
Like a flower, when I saw Aspen for the first time all those months ago, I thought she was pretty, but the colorful petals at our feet can't actually compare to her. Miho, stop. You're gonna kill me. That rainy day in the library, she didn't even know I was there. I never could have imagined how our lives would intertwine from then on. But it's everything we've been through since then. All the things I've come to learn and know about her that makes her beautiful. Oh, stop. We both talked about that day. And everything after a lot. Still, I don't get tired of thinking or hearing about it. Every day just makes me appreciate her more. Turning away from the flowers, Aspen sees me looking at her and tilts her head.
What are you smiling about all of a sudden?
You.
You!
Oh, me and Miho, again, just have the same brain cell. Earning myself a kiss on the cheek, we resume our journey through the gardens. The winding road takes us past more flowers, through forests and across ponds. Everywhere you look, there's something new to see. For the most part, I let Aspen lead us, content to see whatever she wants to see, even when that means standing around for a couple minutes while she reads the tiny words on the big signs. The sun begins to set, our walk getting gradually darker, but neither of us are in a rush to leave. When we round another corner, we reach a new area of the park that we haven't seen before. A small river runs along the path on one side, and on one side is a large embankment. Trees with long, saggy branches run along the top, making a curtain along a lot of it. Some of the branches glisten with water, but some sparkle with something else. I point to one, getting Aspen's attention.
What's that? What's what?
She follows my line of sight, and then her eyes light up when she sees it. We both hurry over to where something small and blue hangs from one of the branches. Glowing like a firefly, there are silky threads hanging from the trees too. They kind of look like spider webs, but softer.
Is it a fairy? Not quite. They're glowworms.
Oh, that's still cool though, but you know, a fairy would have been kind of hyped. That would have been cool. She reaches a hand up, cupping the bright orb without touching it.
Worms? Yes, look.
I look. Sure enough, there's a bug attached to the light. Well, maybe it's the other way around.
As pretty as the flowers. Are they magical?
No, just unique. Wellington is somewhat famous for them, in fact. There should be more nearby. Shall we look for them?
I need to visit Wellington after this. Like, I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. Now I just want to go specifically to Wellington. Especially if, like, because the glowworms sound really cool, because I've heard of them before outside of from this game. Like, in podcasts, people who are from, like, New Zealand will be like, yeah, I've seen, like, the glowworms, and they're, like, the coolest, prettiest things ever. And it's like, that does sound pretty awesome.
Sure. Let's go.
We follow the embankment, peering among the trees and dirt for another glimpse of light. There are other people around inspecting the same area as we are. We spot a couple isolated bugs all alone like the first one we encountered, but for a while that seems to be it. However, as the night begins to set in and the sun disappears behind the hills, that starts to change. Before our eyes, lights gradually appear as more and more glowworms take their places, like candles being lit in the dark. The blue-green webbing almost seems to hover in mid-air at parts, since we can't see the trees themselves as easily. Finally, we come to a part of the ridge that brings us both to a halt. Oh, the lighting in this is so pretty. The blue outline, too. Ooh. A big willow tree droops down, making a web of its own out of the branches that even reaches past other nearby trees. Glowworms hang from them like holiday lights. There are more here than we saw on the way combined. When we first arrived at the gardens, Aspen remarked on how gorgeous it was. Now she's speechless. She takes a step forward and then another, drawn like a moth to a flame. I stay at her side, impressed by the glowworms, but unable to take my eyes off Aspen again. Her eyes wide and mouth agape, she's the most easy-to-read person I've ever met. The simple way she always wears her awe on her face, and her heart on her sleeve, even when she tries to hide her feelings. To me, that's another thing to love about her. I've already seen it happen a few times. Aspen, who always tries to have the perfect words, finds herself at a loss for them so often. Everything she feels so much. As scary as that may have seemed at one time, as we became friends and then more than friends, it's something I've come to admire. She says that meeting me was destiny, or that maybe she just got lucky. I don't know a thing about destiny, but I know the second part is wrong, or at least only half true. I'm the lucky one here.
Hey, Aspen?
Oh. Still entranced, she turns her head to face me, and I lean in to kiss her. I'm not used to having the right words, or any words at all, so I hope I can say everything I want with a kiss. Her eyes flutter shut behind her glasses. She smells faintly of coffee and flour. Her lips taste like love. I hope she knows just how she's made my life better. I hope she knows just how she's made my life better. Just by existing. Just by being her. We part, but just barely. Foreheads together, she smiles, the light in her eyes brighter than the ones around us.
What was that for? Not that I mind, of course.
Just because. I was thinking about how lucky I am to be able to do that.
Stop.
I see. In that case...
She kisses me again.
Just because?
Because I love you. And so you'll keep doing that?
That's the easiest promise I've ever made.
Eventually we walk away, letting some of the other searchers enjoy the spot. We follow the winding path through the garden some more, taking our time and stopping to admire anything that catches our eyes. There are plenty of those, not just the flowers and trees, but the lamp-lit pathways and streams too. At the end, we leave from the gate we entered through, taking a shuttle back into town. I walk with Aspen to her apartment before we part ways for the night. Holding my hands outside her door, she gives me one last kiss.
Thank you for a perfect evening, Miho.
It was your idea to go there. So, thank you.
It was only perfect because we were together, though. Just take the compliment, silly.
Fine, fine.
Smiling, Aspen steps forward and hugs me, enveloping me in that coffee and flower scent.
Well, shall I see you tomorrow, then?
Yeah. I already can't wait.
Me either. Good night, Miho.
Good night.
With a final wave, Aspen disappears into her apartment. I make my way back to the library, feeling lighter than air. Aww. Oh, what is this? That was great. I loved that. That's so good. I say as if I don't like love. Say that about everything else in this game, but that's so fine. If it's true, so it's fine. I've only been home for a little bit when I decide to step out into the night again. My last encounter with Silver didn't go so well, but it hasn't made me any less determined to talk to her. It's not just because of my magic and what she might be able to tell me about. It's because I also want to help her. I know that I can't tell her out. I know I can't tell her that outright, but every passing day that I spend with Aspen or Juliet makes me more confident in my decision to stay around Wellington. While I don't expect things to go exactly the same way for Silver as they did for me, I hope that maybe someday she'll want to change too. Making my way to Mount Victoria doesn't take very long. Just like last time, I changed forms and searched for Silver's scent, locking on and following it through the forest. I eventually find her in her two-legged form, sitting on a log with her back to me. For some reason, I'm surprised. I just assumed she spent most of her time as a fox. I change forms myself. Somehow, I don't think she's noticed me yet. I'm not sure if I should call out to her to get her attention or what. I don't think she'd like being surprised, but there probably isn't any chance she'd be excited to see me regardless. Taking a step, I have my decision made for me. The snap of a branch under my foot gives me away.
Damn it.
Oh, her eyes got turned into real slits there. Oh my gosh. Sure enough, Silver spins around, her eyes going from shock to annoyance when she sees me. She leaps to her feet in a fluid motion while I hold up my empty hands to show I'm not a threat.
Stupid dog. Learn to obey when you're given a command. I told you not to come back here.
Oops. Guess I must not have heard that part.
I didn't bother to make a plan for how to convince her to talk to me, since she has a tendency to mess up any plan I try. She snorts in derision and transforms as she turns back away from me. In a flash, she's taken off.
Not this time.
I change forms and run off after her. She's tricky. Not just fast, she also darts back and forth, weaving around trees as she tries to get away. I don't let her, instead keeping her in my sights even though she manages to stay ahead. The forested area isn't very big, but she backtracks so much that it feels huge. If we were in our other forms, I'm sure that she'd be shouting taunts at me or obscenities. Instead, it's gravely silence, other than the soft sound of our paws on the leaves and moss. I'm also pretty sure it was supposed to be pronounced gravely. Silver eventually gives up on trying to confuse me and instead puts on a burst of speed, pulling farther and further away from me. Why is she so determined to run away, and why am I so determined to catch her? The first part isn't tough to answer, because running away is easy. I understand because until recently, that was exactly what I would have done too. But the second part, that's harder to say. I push myself as well, trying to run faster like Silver. It's hard though, and my legs are already aching. I have to start relying on my ears and nose, not just eyes to track her. Suddenly I see her again, not that far out of reach. When she spots me, I can see her try to dash again. Only this time she doesn't seem to be able to pull it off either. That's when I notice her limp. It's subtle enough that I can only tell when I'm closer to her like this, but one of her back legs is definitely giving her trouble, and it's starting to slow her down. When it becomes clear I'm going to catch her, she abruptly halts, transforming back in a flash. I scramble to bring myself to a stop and then change too, almost collapsing back onto the ground. My lungs feel like they're on fire, but I stay on my feet. Silver doesn't move, her back still to me, even as I see her chest heave while she catches her breath. She clenches a fist, illuminated by the light from her bead.
Why won't you leave me alone? I've told you to stay away. Aren't dogs supposed to be good at listening?
Oh gosh, stop with the whole dog thing. I ignore her. I couldn't give her an answer she'd accept anyway.
Why are you limping? Did you hurt your leg?
Silence. Not that I was expecting an answer myself. But then slowly her fingers uncurl.
No, someone else did. Why do you care?
For the first time, there's less of a sharp edge to her words. For once, it sounds like a genuine question.
Because you exist, I guess. I've never met another Gumiho, but I feel like I know you. At least a little bit. We probably have more in common than you think. Or admit.
Pathetic.
I don't know if she's talking about me or not. Finally, she looks up and glares at me, staring right into my eyes. I'm not sure how I want to come across to her. Friendly, trustworthy, brave. Whatever we do have in common, she's also a total mystery. Even at my most alone, I was never as wild as she is.
Fine then, I'll tell you. Listen well, dog. I won't repeat myself.
Folding her arms, Silver turns her back on me and looks up at the stars.
The forest I called home belonged to man, as all forests do in their minds. Every day, to live was to be in fear of their cruel weapons that could tear you apart before you ever saw them. All creatures of the forest are prey to sate man's hunger for violence. I learned to run, for there was no other choice but death. To hide from their stinking horses and craven hounds. Survive. Yet, for all my running and for all my fear, one day, I too found myself fleeing for my life, slabbering beasts at my heels. There was a crack as one of their weapons rang out, finding its mark in my leg. Despite the pain, I kept running for as long as I could, before collapsing into the bush. I knew I was going to die, and there was nothing I could do about it. Nothing but quiver and dread, useless and pathetic. I thought I would choke on the fear. Instead, as the first of the hunters arrived, sadistic pleasure in their eyes, the pain in my throat became something else. In that moment, it transformed me. I was more than a pitiful fox. I became something greater, something powerful. In a flash, the fear came for them instead. They screamed the same way we foxes do, in agony and terror. The pain I felt was nothing compared to the euphoria of strength. It served me greater than fear had. And it was not only my blood that nurtured the forest that day. I knew that my wounds would heal in time, but that power would never leave me. They did, and it hasn't. Never again will I suffer a human to harm me, or anyone else.
Spinning back around, her eyes shine in the moonlight.
Again. I told you before that we are nothing alike.
She's wrong. I can see myself reflected in her harsh gaze. I could have been her so
Well,
easily.
What is it, dog? Have you finally learned to hold your tongue?
Something about her finally clicks. Something in her words make sense. The way she tells me so much even as she tells me to leave. The way she keeps asking for my thoughts. She desperately wants me to respond.
I'm sorry. All of that stuff that happened to you is terrible. I can see why you hate humans so much.
Her eyes widen, then instantly narrow.
Oh. Has a thought dared to enter that empty head of yours?
Yeah. I'd probably hate humans too if I'd gone through what you did. Even though I didn't, I still spent most of my life trying to avoid them. And everyone else. Everyone but one person.
I pause, waiting for her to interrupt me, but she doesn't. That's a good sign, right?
I also got my leg hurt by humans back then. Back when I was a fox, I stepped on one of their traps and couldn't get out. I also thought I was gonna die. But instead, my person set me free. Even though they weren't my person yet. And they put a bandage on my leg and helped it get better. I'd probably still have a limp today if they hadn't.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Literally, it's just like her wounds healed because she had other people there for her, whereas her wound is still completely slowing her down and like stopping her from like, she can't get better from it because she had never had anyone there to help her. Silver scoffs but doesn't interject.
Until I came here and met Aspen and Juliet, I thought my person was the only one worth knowing, human or not. I didn't want them to talk to me either. But now, I'm glad they did.
I search her face, trying to get a glimpse of what she might be thinking or feeling, her expression as stony as ever. I couldn't keep going, but I'm not sure if it would be a good idea or not. I'm probably already wearing on her patience. Oh! Hang on. You can't do this to me, please. Of course I could keep going, but I'm not sure if it would be a good idea or not. I'm probably already wearing on her patience. Is that the game trying to, like, tell me to stop and that's the right play? Or is it like being like, hey, this is like what she could be feeling, or you should keep going? Also, I don't mean to do that. Hang on. Save here. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Hang on, what exactly does she say? Hang on. I search her face trying to get a glimpse of what she might be thinking or feeling, but her expression is as stony as ever. I could keep going, but I'm not sure if it would be a good idea or not. I'm probably already wearing on her patience. I think the game's trying to tell me to leave it there, I think. But again, her whole story is about people not helping her. And whereas Mio had people there to help her, so like, should I try to be the person to help? But at the same time, leaving it there could leave her up to the option, like to choose to be like, hey, wait, something like that. Or but keep going could like push her away further, just like if I'm wearing on her patience. I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna read a few lines, and if it's immediately like, oh, she's done with this, then I'm gonna go back. I want to tell Silver that maybe someday she could feel the same way too, but I hold myself back. I've said enough for tonight. Silver also stays quiet for a moment. She's probably trying to think of another way to call me dog.
Of course. Any dog considers itself blessed to have a master.
Stop! Even then, her words don't have the usual venom. Seems like I gave her something to think about, if nothing else. From the way she fidgets, I can tell we're getting near the point where Silver is going to decide she's had enough and run away. Before she can do that, there's something else I have to know.
Hey,
What?
I never asked before, but what's your name?
She sneers, looking glad to have a reason to be disdainful
I
again.
have no need for one. If I wished to be known by anyone, they wouldn't use a name.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. It's how I ended up calling myself Miho.
How clever.
Which is why I've been calling you Silver in my head, so I'll just keep doing that.
Pick something else.
She's like, oh gosh, that's a terrible name. It's way too on the nose. Please stop. Her response is immediate. I've been expecting a do as you wish or I don't care what a dog thinks of me, but I didn't expect her to have an opinion on my choice. Even Silver looks a bit surprised with herself, like she answered without thinking. She quickly forces back a stoic expression.
Do as you wish.
If you tell me something else to call you, I will.
I don't care what a dog thinks of me.
Nose in the air, she turns away from me and transforms, bounding off into the shadows like always. This time, I don't try to follow her. She always has to make a show of how little she cares. It took me until tonight to understand that means she cares a lot. For as attached and disinterested as she tries to appear, there's still some weaknesses in her armor. Once again, I didn't really learn much about myself or my magic from this visit with Silver, but I still don't think it was a waste of time. Heck yeah, let's go! We made progress. We're breaking through. We're getting through those walls. Game? What's happening? Okay, there we go. But with that being said, I'm going to call it there for today. We are on Thursday. We made it through 2 days today. We're almost done with the week. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think each chapter is about a week. So we're like almost done with this chapter. We're like right at the crux of it ending. So yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time for when we probably get to chapter 5, which is the last chapter, sadly. Until we get to Juliet's route, of course, and then we get more. But yeah, with all that being said, I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye-bye.